Section 5 covers the remainder of cal forms for middle weak verbs. Beginning with the infinitive construct, you will want to note that the infinitive construct form of a middle weak verb typically evidences the vowel class. So cum is the cal infinitive construct of kof vav mem. Din is the cal infinitive construct of dalet yod nun. And bo is the cal infinitive construct of beit vav aleph. In fact, for this reason, unlike all other verb forms, for middle weak verbs, the lexicon will list the form under the infinitive construct, not under the perfect third masculine singular. The cal perfect third masculine singular of cum would be com, but you will not find it in the lexicon as com. You find it under the infinitive construct form cum. 3 examples to show the infinitive construct. First, Genesis 19:35. V'lo yada b'shikva u'v'kuma. So we begin with vav and lo, not. Yada, cal perfect third masculine singular of yada, a first yod verb, which we will cover in the next chapter, to know. And he did not know, then ba plus infinitive construct. So the ba in this case is temporal and when. Shikva is the infinitive construct of shakav, to lie down, and it's possessed by the third feminine singular suffix. So when she lay down. You could almost be wooden and say in her lying down, but in English we would say when she lay down. U, and then another temporal use of the preposition bait, and when, then we have kuma. This is cum, the cal infinitive construct of cum, but it's simply written instead without the mater, cum, plus the same third feminine singular suffix, her arising, when she got up. Second, Isaiah 3:13, Va'omed ladin amim. So vav and plus omed, cal participle masculine singular of amad, stand. So and standing, or in context, and he stands, ladin, la, the preposition lamed, which often precedes the infinitive construct, and din, the cal infinitive construct of din, to judge, amim, the plural noun, peoples. Third, Deuteronomy 4:34, O hanissa Elohim lavo lakachat lo goy mekerev goy. O, or, an interrogative he. Note that the vowel is the reduced vowel, h, indicating the interrogative he. On the front of a verb, nisa, pl perfect, third masculine singular of the root nasa, to try or to attempt. So, or has, verb, he attempted, followed by the subject, Elohim. Has a God attempted, la, preceding an infinitive construct, vo, the cal infinitive construct of bo, to come, followed by another lamed plus cal infinitive construct. This is the cal infinitive construct of la kach, but remember this is an irregular verb, and in the infinitive construct it drops the lamed and adds the tav, to take. Lo, lamed plus the third masculine singular suffix, for himself. Goy, a nation. Mikerev, men, with the noon assimilated, leaving you the dagesh and the kof, from the midst. Goy, of a nation. For the cal infinitive absolute, you will see a characteristic holum vowel in all forms. Remember, for the strong verb, the infinitive absolute was ka tol. This characteristic holum is present, but in these middle weak roots, you will have a single syllable infinitive absolute. For cum, the infinitive absolute will be comb. For seam, it will be soam. And for bow, it will be bow, in each case with the holum vowel in the middle. 3 examples, all 3 using the cognate infinitive absolute, the construction when the infinitive absolute precedes the finite verb in order to indicate certainty. First, Jeremiah 44:29. Lama'an ted'u ki kom yakumu devarai alekem l'ra'ah. So lama'an, the first word is so that. Ted'u is a cal imperfect of yada, a first yod verb. We will handle these in the next chapter. Second masculine plural, so that you may know. The key that follows is a complementary use of the particle key. It fills out what would be known, so that you may know that. Now then we have the cognate infinitive absolute construction. Kom, the infinitive absolute of kom, and then yakumu, a cal imperfect third masculine plural of cum. They may certainly stand. So that you may know that they may certainly stand, and then the subject follows the verb as is normal. Devarai. Notice that with the suffix being I, this is a plural noun. So my words may certainly stand. Alekim, the preposition al plus the second masculine plural suffix, against you. Le ra'ah, the preposition le plus the noun ra'ah, evil. Second, Deuteronomy 17:15. Som tasim aleka melech asher yivchar Adonai Elohecha bo. So we begin with the infinitive absolute and the conjugated verb. Som, the cal infinitive absolute of seem, followed by tasim, the cal imperfect second masculine singular of seem, to set or put or place. You may certainly set aleka, the preposition al plus the second masculine singular suffix, over yourselves, melech, a king. So you begin, you may certainly set a king over yourself. Asher, the relative, whom, yivchar is a cal imperfect third masculine singular of the root bachar, and so this form is who he will choose. The verb is followed as usual by the subject, Adonai Elohecha, the Lord your God. And then bo is the preposition bait plus the resumptive pronoun, over yourself. Third example, Genesis 37:10. Havo navo ani ve'imacha ve'achecha lehishtahavot leka artsa. So we begin with an interrogative hey. Notice that the vowel underneath is the reduced vowel, indicating an interrogative hey, not a definite article. So question, followed by bo navo. Bo is the cal infinitive absolute of bo. Navo is a cal imperfect first common plural of the root bo. So together, will we certainly or will we really come, followed by the subject, pronoun I, v, and im, mother, cha, your mother, I and your mother, v and, ak, brother, eka means it's a plural noun, brothers. So the subject together is I and your mother and your brothers. Will we really come? L, followed by a hishtafel, remember from 2 chapters ago. The hishtafel infinitive construct, to bow down, laka, to you, artsa, this is eretz, earth, plus a directional hey, to the ground. The cal narrative forms of middle week verbs are formed as you would expect at the front. You add va, and then you double the prefix letter with a dagesh. In the middle week forms, what will also happen is the accent will move to the penultimate syllable. So if the imperfect form had been yakum, when it becomes a narrative, you add va to the front and double. In this case, what happens then is the accent moves from the syllable kum to the ya. And in that case, the vowel shortens from the shurek to a kametz hatuf. So you have va yakom. The key here is to remember that when the accent is on the penultimate syllable, the last syllable is now a closed, unaccented syllable. So the form is vayakom. If you let your pronunciation rules guide you and realize that you should say an O sound as a kametz hatuf, this will tip you off that what you have is the narrative form of a middle week verb. 4 examples. First, Genesis 24:10. Vayakom, vayelek, el Aram Nacharayim, el Ir Nachor. So we begin with a cal narrative of kum, cal narrative, third masculine singular of kum. Notice that the stress is on the yod, vayakom, and he arose. Vayelek, followed by a cal narrative, this time third masculine singular, of the verb halak, to go. And he arose, and he went to Aram Nacharayim, Mesopotamia, to Ir Nachor, a construct phrase, the city of Nahor. And since the last word, the absolute word, is a proper noun, the construct phrase is considered definite, the city of Nahor. Second, Genesis 25:34. Vayokal, vayesht, vayakom, vayelak, vayivez, Esav et Habukorah. So several narrative verbs in a row. We begin Vayokal, cal narrative, third masculine singular of the first yod verb, akal, to eat. And he ate, followed by Vayesht. This is a cal narrative, third masculine singular again, of the verb shata, a third hay verb, which is to drink. And because it's a third hay verb, in the narrative form, remember the hay drops. In this case, you get the slightly surprising form vayesht. He ate and he drank. Then the same form we saw in the previous example, vayakom. Note again that the stress is marked by the accent on the penultimate syllable, meaning that this last syllable is closed and unaccented, meaning it should be said as a kametz hatuf, vayakom, and he arose. Vayelek, in this case it's vayelak, because we're in a pausal form. Notice the athnach, the accent, indicating the middle of the verse conceptually, which creates the pausal form. So this is the exact same parsing as vayelek up here. The vowel sound has only changed because of the presence of the athnach. Then vayivez, this is now a cal narrative, third masculine singular of the verb baza, also a third he verb, and just as before in the narrative, the third he falls off of the form. This is the more typical form you would expect of a Cal narrative third masculine singular of a third he verb, meaning to despise. And Esau despised, et marking the definite direct object, the birthright. Third example, Genesis 2:8. Vayita Adonai Elohim gan ba'eden mikedem vayasem sham et ha'adam asher yatzar. Vayita is a Cal narrative third masculine singular of the verb nata, to plant. The noon has assimilated. Note the dagesh in the tet. The verb is followed by its subject, Adonai Elohim, the Lord God, planted, gan, a garden, ba, in, Eden, mikedem, from the east, or in English, in the east. Vayasem, Cal narrative, third masculine singular, of seem. Note again that the accent has retracted to the yod, to the penultimate syllable. So, and he put sham there, et marking the definite direct object, the man, asher the relative particle, whom, yatsar, Cal perfect third masculine singular of yatsar, to form. Again, this is a pausal form. Instead of yatsar, we have yatsar because we're in the last word of the verse, causing a slight lengthening of the vowel. And fourth, Ezekiel 3:15, Vayavo el hagolah tel aviv hayoshavim el nahar kavar. So we start with the narrative form, the verb, Cal narrative, first common singular of bo. Note that as a first common singular, you have an aleph prefix. We would have added va and tried to double the aleph, but we can't double a guttural, so we have compensatory lengthening. And I came, el, to, ha, the definite article, golah, the exiles. Tel Aviv is a place name, at Tel Aviv. Hayoshavim. So this he tells you that the following participle is attributive, matching and describing the exiles. The exiles at Tel Aviv, who, Cal participle masculine plural of yashav, to dwell, who were dwelling, el, in this case, by, Nahar Kavar, the canal Chebar. They called it the river Chebar. Finally, the Cal imperative forms of middle weak roots are formed normally, as you would expect, by removing the prefix from the imperfect. Three examples. First, Judges 19:28. Vayomer Eleha Kumi Vaneleka Va'ain Oneh. So we begin with the Cal narrative of Amar, Cal narrative third masculine singular. And he said, El Eha, to plus the third feminine singular suffix, to her. Then he said, Kumi. Now the imperfect form would have been ta kumi for the Cal imperfect second feminine singular. We remove ta and we get kumi. Cal imperative feminine singular of kum, get up or arise, followed by a simple vav, v, neleka, Nele ka is a cow cohortative first common plural of halak. Remember, halak in its forms will drop the hey irregularly in the imperfect. A simple vav plus a cohortative following an imperative, you will recall, is a secondary volative. So this is get up so that we may go. And then the rest, but, ain, the particle of non-existence, onet, answer. But there was no answer. Second, Numbers 3, verse 8. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe, aseh laka saraf, vasim oto al nes. So Vayomer, as we're used to, and he said, verb followed by subject, and the Lord said to Moses. The first imperative, aseh, would be from an imperfect, ya aseh. So our first guttural verb, hence the imperative when you take off the prefix is aseh with the compound schwa. So cal imperative masculine singular of asa. Make le ka, le plus ka for yourself, saraf, a snake, seam, and, then seam. Remember that the imperfect form would be tasim. So the imperfect, then you have the removal of the prefix seam, leaving a cal imperative masculine singular of seam, and place oto, ot, marker of the definite direct object, plus the third masculine singular suffix. Place it all upon nes, a pole. And then thirdly, 2 Kings 10:25, Vayomer Yehu le ratzim v'le shalishim bo'u ha-kum. Again, we start with Vayomer, which you know well, and he said, verb followed by subject. Jehu said, la ratzim, to, and notice the lamed has a vowel under it, telling you expect a definite article by vocalization, to the guards, and to the officers. Bo'u, so a cal imperative masculine plural of bo, go. Hakum is a hiphil imperative. Remember, hiphil imperatives start with a hey, of the very tricky root naka, which we saw earlier. The noon assimilates to the kaf, leaving a dagesh, and the hey disappears, as is so often for a third hey root. So this is a hiphil imperative, second masculine plural of naka, noon kaf hey, plus then a third masculine plural object suffix. So naka, to strike down, plus the suffix strike them down.